Hey there guys, this is my first video in a long time, but my first video with my new 2019 Mustang. I wanted to kind of maybe go over it, kind of document what I'm going to do to this, and so I don't know how to edit, so this is all going to be done in one shot, so excuse the pauses or just not very good filming of this, but I'm sure I'll get better as time goes on. So just to quickly explain, what I got is a white 2019 Mustang GT 300A package that has the Performance Pack 1, has the 10 speed automatic, and has the active exhaust. When I went to go look at the Mustangs, I'd generally been a Chevy or GM guy for a long time. I had a 2000 Trans Am WS6 that had a 395 cubic inch stroker, stage 4 4L80E automatic. In the end, it started off as a 6-speed with a T56 manual transmission and Moser 12-bolt rear end, full QA1 suspension, some BMR suspension parts, and so it ran a 1083 at 126 with a 1660 foot. So it was a great street car. That was with air conditioning. It put a little over 500 horsepower to the ground, all naturally aspirated. Sounded wonderful. But when I first got it, I took it to the track and I couldn't break it 14 second quarter miles. I haven't taken this to the track. It's only got I don't know if you can see that, 559 miles on it, so still breaking it in, but I wanted to start the process with this car. So a little bit about me. I'm 6'3". I weigh about 230 pounds, athletic build, so you can kind of see, my knees. I don't really touch anything. If I touch anything, it's really this parking brake right here on my leg. Not really uncomfortable. I test drove a 6-speed standard, but decided on the automatic because I like the reliability, and this is going to be my daily driver unless weather conditions are really bad. Then I've got an older car that just kind of sits around that I could drive if it's icy or so here in Oklahoma. But plenty of foot room. I wear a size 15, so I got plenty of space down here for my feet. You can see, and my other leg just kind of rests here. I would say that the dead pedal over here is a little narrow for my foot, but complaints, first world problems kind of thing. So my plans for this car, as you can see, it's got the base radio. So the only thing that I'm a little disappointed in is I don't get the selectable modes. So I don't get track mode or drag mode because of the transmission shift schedules and line pressure that it increases. I do wish I had had that, but as far as the radio is concerned, I barely listen to that. I didn't buy this thing to listen to a radio. I bought this thing to drive. I bought it to listen to and experience and be fun, and it serves its purpose. It makes noise. The radio makes noise when I want to listen to something, but I don't need to feel the stereo. I wanted to feel the car. So I went with the automatic over the 301A package, and then I got the active exhaust on here. That was kind of a bonus feature. I really like that. I want to kind of be that good neighbor, so I can start it up in quiet mode in the morning when I leave for the gym or something at like 5 a.m. I don't wake up my neighbors. So, and I prefer the analog gauges. I think the digital gauges are awesome. They are so cool, but I like the three-dimensional look of good analog gauges, especially with the big tack and the big speedometer. And then you get all your fun little stuff in the middle with the little LCD screen, the little small one. So I love the cloth seats. I did look at a GT Premium, but it did not have the performance package. It did not have the active exhaust, and it did not have the automatic transmission. So I looked at it and I thought to myself, what do I want? Do I want to put the same amount of money into a car that looks amazing, and drives and has the brakes and the cooling and the suspension from the factory, or do I want to get a car to where I have all of that stuff? And I really don't want to do a lot of upgrades to this. There's a couple of things that I do want to do, and again, I apologize for the video. I mean, it's just you're staring at my steering wheel and me talking. So the thing I do really want to do is the performance, Ford Performance, I guess stage 2, where it's a cold air intake, the Shelby GT350, throttle body, and then the updated, like a updated computer tune that I think that'll help with that transmission schedule and line pressure, so that I'll have some firmer shifts and stuff like that. So I'm pretty excited about that. I know a lot of these cars, these Gen 3 Coyotes, are dynoing in the 420s to maybe 430 at the wheels, completely stock. So I think the performance stage 2 pack adds like another 25 horsepower to the ground. So I mean, with these things being underrated, I think that it's safe to say that at the flywheel, the brake horsepower is going to be right at 500 or maybe a little more, which is insane, and especially fun for a daily driver, especially to think about 10-15 years ago when the Corvette Z06 that had the LS7 in it, 427 small block, was putting 505. Now I think those were underrated as well, but I mean, the little 302s are putting down pretty much the same amount of power at the ground as the LS7 was at the time. Obviously, the LS7 is a badass motor. I would love to have that one, a nice C6 Z06 one day, but I am in love with this car. I think it's fantastic. It's going to be a great daily driver. I think it's going to serve everything that I want it to do. I've been out of the game. I've got 2 kids. Been out of the car game for about 10 years. Sold my Trans Am. Been in 4-door trucks for a long time, and have just generally wanted to get back in it, but I just couldn't do it because of car seats and stuff like that. I didn't want to deal with that. But now that I got my a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old, and I can just flip the front seat up and tell them, hey, get in the back. Although they won't really have any leg room behind me or my girlfriend, but you know, that's just how it goes. They're just this will be the car. She drives a Jeep Grand Cherokee, which has plenty of room for everybody in the family. So but that's kind of my first video. I figured I'd do another one where I can walk around, kind of talk about my impressions of the car. Just somebody that has always been a GM person, but is really thoroughly impressed with this product from Ford, and really has my mind kind of looking towards that. I mean, that's kind of what happened with my trucks, is I went towards the Mopar. I went with Ram. I had 3 Rams. I had a 2012 that I lowered. I had a 2013 that I kind of left stock, did a few little upgrades, and I had a 2016 that was completely stock. Sold it last year, and really just kind of got the Jeep and realized I didn't need a truck anymore. I'm not in the industry anymore. I sit at a desk, and so I wanted to get something that I'm going to enjoy driving, because every day I just felt like I was in this little commuter car. I might as well have been in a minivan. Now every day I get up and I'm excited to drive to work, and when I get off work I'm excited to drive home, because I get to drive something that is inspiring and fun, and something that I enjoy. So be on the lookout for more videos, and hopefully a little bit better editing and ability to give you guys more content that's more closer to the comparable channels. I don't think I'm ever going to match them. I'm not the kind of person that has a lot of pocket money that can go and put thousands of dollars to continually make videos and then get sponsorships and make money on YouTube. It's not even what I'm doing this for. Honestly, I was looking at all the content that I could, and these guys start off as a normal deal, and then they go into these extreme builds where they're putting carbon fiber hoods and parts and superchargers and stuff like that. I mean, that just gets into the point where it's like I'm driving this 700 horsepower. No, that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the subtle upgrades. The suspension's staying the same. I bought a performance pack level 1 car because I'm not going to touch the wheels. I'm not going to touch the brakes. I'm not going to touch the suspension as far as what it comes with. Now, I may add some stuff like jacking rails or independent rear suspension parts to keep it from having wheel hop, but I'm not going to replace the springs and the shocks, and I'm not going to lower this thing. I'm not going to put a bigger chin spoiler on it. If I was going to do all that stuff, I would have got the GT Premium and then did all that stuff. That's not why I got this car. I got this car because I wanted to do as little as possible, and I wanted to enjoy the car. I've had an extremely modded car where it had a gigantic, my WS6 had a huge cam in it with I think it was negative 26 degrees of overlap. I mean, it sounded insane and I loved every minute of it, but the drivability and just, it was not as fun. I want this. I got a little bit of performance I want to do. I got a little bit of suspension I want to do, a little bit of aesthetics, and then I just want this to be one clean fucking car. I love the white with the black wheels. I love the Brimbos. The 10-speed is amazing. I mean, it is just, it's going to be a daily driver. I'm going to drive this thing to Texas and back a lot. I'm going to drive it down over to Arkansas, with the twisty roads. I'm just going to enjoy what Ford engineers did and not have to reinvent something, because I bought this car for a purpose, and then I'm going to make sure it stays for that purpose. If I get to the point where I want to be adding a lot of power and stuff like that, I think it would be time for me to sell this car and get a Shelby GT350. So I would rather do that and enjoy that car as is, rather than throwing parts at it. I'm not going to put an E85 tune on it. I know that's badass, and we have plenty of stations here in Oklahoma with E85. I'm not interested in that. I don't want to do that. I'll run 91. That's what we have here. I'll run that all day long, but I will not do an E85 tune, even though the benefits are 30, 40 horsepower at the ground. That's not what I'm going for. So hopefully if you want to give thumbs up, thumbs down, you just want to ignore it, I don't even care. I wanted to put something out there that I felt was missing. There's tons of reviews on these cars where they go in depth and they do all these things, and I think Rady's Rides does a fantastic job down in Florida. I love watching his reviews. I watch the Stang mode, I think, where he has the Black Mamba Xander guy, and then there's another one that I watch, I can't remember. I subscribe to all those guys, but they do a great job, especially throwing mods at these cars. But that's not what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be doing things that don't cost a lot of money and that show that you can enjoy this car without throwing thousands and thousands of dollars on. You can buy it as is, put a little bit of money into it, just to, like the hood struts. Why the hell did they not? Why the fucking, you got a freaking prop rod in a, it doesn't make any sense. My Trans Am that was made in 2000, damn near 20 years ago, did not have a hood prop. So how the hell does this still have a hood prop rod? I don't know. But I'm going to do those types of things. And I think in the interior, all I'm going to do is the all-weather floor mats. And then I'm thinking about changing this out for that Barton shift knob that I saw on, I think it's CJ Pony Parts or something. I think that looked really cool. It's white. I just don't know if I want to do the silver or the black accents on it. I think the black and the white would look good because that's how the exterior looks, but then you have all these silver accents through here, so I'm just not sure what I want to do with this yet. Well, I may not do anything, but I think I want to do the white shift knob with the black accents. But that's $180, you know, that's a lot of money to me, for something that this works. I mean, it's just an aesthetic thing. So, you know, do I want to spend my money on that, or do I want to save for another vacation? So it all depends on priorities and stuff like that. But if I do it, I'll kind of do a little video on how to do it, and hopefully my editing skills will get a little bit better. So anyway, that's all I got for today. For you staring at my steering wheel and my gauges and my legs. But again, I'm 6'3", and I fit perfectly fine, and I'm sitting straight up. I think the chair can even go down a little bit more, but you know, so I think if you're taller than me, I think you're gonna have some problems. Like if you're 6'4" or above, you're gonna need to squeeze in here a little bit, maybe a little uncomfortable. There's zero way I could sit in the back. I tried sitting back there. There's no leg room, there's no head room. I mean, if you're 5'5" and below, I think you're in good shape. But anyway, we'll try it again. Hopefully this first video is adequate. All right, thanks guys.